Alrighty, so for today's nostalgic rewind, I'll be talking about Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. Budokai 3 was released in 2004 exclusively for the PlayStation 2, releasing it only a year after Budokai 2. The game adds many new features, which are unique, but has its own issues. The Budokai series had followed the standard 3D fighting game style, being able to punch, kick, and use energy. The game allows you to mix punching and kicking for combos that can lead to activating special skills such as the Kamehameha. The game gets rid of the game board type map from Budokai 2 and switches to a more open world type map. There is a tiny map of the world which you are allowed to freely fly around and explore. While exploring, you can find skills, items, special events, and of course the Dragon Balls. The story is segmented into each character's perspective of the main story that we all know. You can play through the story as Goku, Vegeta, Yamcha, and many more. This helps with replayability and making the value greater. Even after beating the campaign as a character, you can play through it another time to unlock different scenarios. There are new scenarios such as Dragon Ball GT and Broly. By playing through the story, it also helps with collecting money for the shop, unlocking items, finding new skills to help build up your fighters. Outside of the story, there is the World Tournament, where you prove yourself by picking a fighter and getting through a certain amount of brackets to win the prize money. This can be challenging as you must fight in the tournament ring, where you can easily be knocked out and immediately lose. You cannot retry a fight in the World Tournament, you must restart from the beginning. And by winning money from the tournament, you can then proceed to the shop and buy all kinds of skills and items. Throughout the story as Goku, you have to find the shop membership cards to unlock more rare items in the shop. If you do not like what is in the store, you can easily leave and come back and it will randomize what's available. After checking out the shop, you can head over to practice and train your new skills. This allows you to choose whichever fighter you want to try, test out all their skills. Practice truly does help in this game as there are combos that aren't outright stated. Being fresh to the game, practice will also help with many of the new features to combat in Budokai 3. Speaking of which, in Budokai 3, a new combat move called Dragon Rush is introduced. This can be activated as long as you have any amount of ki, which is your energy, but shouldn't be activated unless you have almost full bars. The point of the Dragon Rush is to hit your enemy with a skill such as a heavy attack or hit them close enough with an energy attack. This will activate Dragon Rush. Now I'd like to point out that I personally despise this feature and feel it had been made horribly. Once in the Dragon Rush attack, there are 3 moments where you must guess which button your attacker is pressing. If you fail at all 3 attempts, you are dealt quite a bit of damage. I felt this feature leaves a lot to work on and is purely a gamble each time. Of course, as I've noticed, the AI can almost always guess my button immediately and I'm never able to complete my Dragon Rush against an NPC. When in the Hyper mode, instead of doing a Dragon Rush, this is how you do your special move, such as the Warp Kamehameha or the Spirit Bomb. You must be in Hyper mode and must have a certain amount of ki. If you screw up, you cannot regain your ki while in Hyper mode. You must wait for it to finish where your character becomes out of breath for a few seconds. I also felt this whole new mechanic made the game less fun when it came to doing special moves. I have heard people on forums complain that by charging up ki it makes the combat less tense and kills time. I believe the ki charging is great as it keeps you wondering if your opponent will attack you while you're charging up, preventing you from getting the proper amount of ki. Having played the newer Dragon Ball Z games, I will say I feel they're trying to do too much and could scale it back. Overall, I really enjoyed Budokai 3 even after 20 years. I'm still playing it and I can have fun. I had bought this brand new off Amazon for $50 pretty recently. If you feel that price is doable, I highly recommend getting it. I know people always bring up emulating. I don't necessarily care to do that and would rather play on my Xbox 360 like I did when I was a kid. I am excited for Sparking Zero and hope it sparks the love for the Budokai type gameplay I miss a ton. So until next time, that's going to be it for me. I'm out.